subscribe to the channel. Good to see all my subscribers again. If it's the first time to the channel, welcome. Hope you like this video. Subscribe, check out my other videos. So what I'm going to go over today is crab traps that I bought from Three Kings Crab Traps in Salt Springs, Florida. I'm going to go over some features of the trap and how I'm going to be setting it up. Now there's a few different ways that you can set these traps up, but I'm just going to walk you through how I'm going to be doing it, step by step. Now, as you probably saw in my Wolf Branch Lake video, I believe it is, or yeah, I think that's what it was. That was the name of the lake that I was at fishing. I stopped off at Three Kings to get the crab traps. I've been waiting to get there, get these traps for quite a while, and finally had the time to get it done. So I picked up 2 traps. Very durable, as you can see. Right here we've got the opening that my hand's going through here. So you got one opening there. You got opening over here and on the opposite side. And if we work our way back to the front again, opposite side of this, there's another opening. And that's for the crabs to come in and go after the bait and get trapped in there and stay in there. Now these 3 smaller diameter holes here that you see with the gaskets, that's so the smaller fish, if should any fish get trapped in there, can escape, and also smaller crabs, anything that's not supposed to be in there, so to speak, can come and go and get out of there freely without you having to worry about checking the trap for nuisance species that you're not after. These are blue crab traps, and that's what I'm going to be after, is the blue crab. So now they gave me this buoy here, and it comes with 25 feet of rope. That's what they hooked me up with, and that's also for this one here. So styrofoam buoy, 25 feet of rope. But as you'll see later, I decided that I'm going to probably switch it up for deeper water. I'm going with 100 feet of lead core line for that. I will probably keep this rope for the shallower waters. If I'm doing something like kayaking for the day, I might take a trap with me, drop it off in the water, and go ahead and fish the day and check the trap at the end. This buoy right here, I went ahead and I purchased this from Amazon. It's a secondary buoy. I didn't want to go out with just one. I wanted to have 2 floats, because especially when you're going to use the lead core line, it is recommended to do that. So that's what I did. We've got a harness here, and I'm going to be going through that as well. But this is a harness, and the rope will attach to the harness, and then you got your float, and maybe I'm going to put some weights in the trap as well. So the lead core line will kind of help the float stay in place. Excuse the rain, folks. We've got a thunderstorm going on here today. So the lead core line will help the buoy stay in place, and so it will not get tangled up in anybody's prop, float off or anything, which can happen with the lighter line. So that's why I went with the 100 feet of lead core line if I'm going to be doing deeper water. If I'm going to be fishing in the same area where I'm dropping the pots, well then maybe I'll use the other line. So that's a basic look. Now let me walk you through some of the steps. Alright, now before I forget, before we get involved into the steps here, I forgot to show you guys this. So this paracord here is holding down your bait area, your bait station. See, it's pretty deep. Now for the bait station, you can put squid in that, put mullet in it. If you get a whole bait fish for the day when they're out there fishing. Throw that in there. Anything that's smelly, really, will attract the crabs. You could do chicken, chicken liver, all sorts of stuff like that. Anything you think that's going to be a nice, stinky, smelly bait, shove in there. Usually, guys will leave the traps out for 24 to 48 hours. Depending on their time schedule, obviously, but 24 to 48. I wouldn't recommend any longer if you want to get the crabs out of there and enjoy a nice meal. Also, this little carabiner right here, you pop this open. Sorry, folks, I'm holding the camera doing this at the same time. Pop that open, and you'll be able to open up the bottom of the net. See how this net opens right up now? And then you're able to go ahead and remove the crab. Shake them out. And then you clip it right back on. Alright, now that you got a basic look at the crab trap, I'm going to show you how I'm going to put mine together. Like I said, you can put yours together how you want to put it together. And there are definitely different kinds of crab traps. I mean, these happen to be right here. You're on the boat, you're setting them, you're letting them soak 24 to 48 hours, you're going back out and getting the pots. Okay? Some guys use the handheld ones. Simply lower them down off of here. Have your chicken, guts, whatever you're using in there. Give it a half hour to 1 hour. Then bring your pot up. See if you got anything. See if the bait is still there. Those are the other kind. You just got to figure out what works for you, what your scenario is. But I want to give you a look at how I'm going to do mine. So now we have the harness. We went through the trap and now we have the harness. Comes little O-ring. You need carabiners. You're going to attach the carabiners to each four corners of the pot. Now what I did was I took zip ties. It's right here. You have a metal piece. If it's not crimped on so good, this line's going to go flopping around inside here. Put two zip ties on each end. They're basically the same. They got the same crimping. And I want to make sure that they stay on there. I want to make sure that line doesn't go anywhere. So, whole setup has zip ties all on the top and all on the bottom. Now when I'm putting this on, for me, I'm putting it on the heavy part of the frame. Sometimes you got to work with it here in order to get it to go the way you want it. Last one's always stubborn. It's always the last one. Doesn't want to work. I got it on there though. So yeah, so basically it's going to look like this. You get all four on. It's going to look like this. I would try to keep it off of the mesh part. Okay, that's not your strongest part. Find the thickest gauge metal on here. And that's where you're going to be putting it to. Okay. You don't even have to do it this way if you don't want to. You can use this, the rope and the buoy, and drop it in, 5 to 8 feet of water, and do it like that. I chose to get the extra buoy, the harness, and the extra line. That's what works for me. Now we got that all set. Now what you do, take your extra buoy. It's going to come in different colors, white, yellow, red. They didn't have red, so I went with yellow. I don't want white. I've already got a white marker. That's going to change too. We'll explain that. Okay? I'm going to put it on here. Alright? Demonstrational purposes. You know? Put it over. Go under. Tie what knot works for you. Okay? I'm just going to tie a very basic knot. This is for demonstration purposes. Now the other end of the line, hope you guys can hear me. This rain is absolutely horrible. We've got storms for days here. The other end of the line, put through your other boat. Go ahead and form your knot, how you're going to form it. Just something so at least it's tight, you know, really solid, and you can't slip back through the hole. And same with the other side. Okay folks, now I wanted to show you right here. This is the crimp, and this is that extra tag end that you have. Now if your crimp for some reason fails, I mean this is just going to pop off. And this whole thing is going to be dangling away. And same thing for the other end. It's just going to be dangling away if that crimp falls off. So what I did is I took some zip ties here, tighten them around the extra. That way if one fails, I got a backup. Let me show you what we're doing here. Just taking the zip tie. Doesn't matter if it's in, out, your preference on how you want to do it. This is just how I did it. Doesn't mean it's right by any means. But it makes sense, right? And then cinch it up. Okay? So that's on that tag end. And of course I dropped one, right? And then we're going to do it again. See? I got them going the wrong way. But it doesn't matter. It's only a zip tie. Here we go. Just to show you. Alright, we'll take some scissors, clip off these ends. There you go. And you got just a little more stability around there. Just a little more. But that's what I was talking about. That's how these ends are. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to get the rest of this harness, and then we'll come back to the traps. Alright folks, I went ahead and did that other harness. So it's got all the zip ties, all the areas, what have you. I think I crossed some stuff here. But anyways, it's back on the trap. No, here we go. There we go. See, perfect ring. On all four corners, like I said, I do the strong corners. The strong ones. Keep it off of the regular mesh that the crabs are going to be in. Also, here in the state of Florida, I don't know how it is in your state, but here in the state of Florida, you have to label your traps, okay? So you must have, and of course you see nothing right here because my information's on the other side of this. You must put your full name, your address, your phone number, and now here in the state of Florida, you have to register your traps with the state, with the FWC it is, okay? So, bear with me folks, we got mosquitoes and a frickin' thunderstorm. So what you do is you go on and you register your traps. Real simple, it's free, it's easy. And again, that's here for the state of Florida. And they're going to assign you 5 numbers. Put your number, your registration number, on the tag. And you're good to go. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and I'm going to put it on the opposite side where I'm letting crabs out. So I've got my carabiner and the paracord to open up and let out the crabs on that side. I'm going to put it on the opposite side of the trap. Needed to cooperate with me, that would be great. Alright, we're not going to get too fancy. Alright, now it's attached. You got to do the same thing for the other trap, and I'll be putting it down around here on this side. Okay? Now I only have these 2 traps. This is going to be my first time going out and trying it with these kind of traps. The FWC gives you 5 registration numbers here in Florida. So I am assuming, like I said, assuming you can have up to 5 traps, okay, on your boat. They're giving you 5 numbers, 5 traps. It makes sense to me, but in today's world, not a whole heck of a lot is making much sense to anybody out there anymore. And we understand this. So, harness, buoys, trap. Now this is one of the rolls right here of a 100-foot lead core line. So if I'm fishing deep, or I'm crabbing deep rather, then this is what I'm going to attach to my harness, my 2 buoys, and drop off the side of the boat. At first, when I first go out, I'm going to be doing probably 5 to 8 feet, no lie. So I might not even use this, and I might only soak it for 24 hours. I might be staying overnight out in that area. That's all I'm going to do it for. I'm not going to leave it out for 2 days. I'm not going to stay in the area for 2 days, most likely, you know, and then go retrieve it the next day, which you got to go do. Okay, you can't neglect these. You got to go do. So most likely, that's the setup I'm going to be using. And then, like I said, I got each 100 feet for each trap, and that's what I'll use for the deeper one. Okay, folks, we've got both of our buoy markers done. Paint seems to have eaten away the styrofoam just a little bit. Maybe I got a really strong paint. Anyways, hoping that lasts for a good long time. So now that these are done, the paint took 25 minutes a piece to do. Did one at a time, so I just gave it an hour. And now what we have to do is we have to stencil an R on the buoy. That's right, we have to put an R on this buoy, and the R is for recreational. That's the way it is here in Florida. I don't know about other states, you'll have to read your regulations. But recreational people, you got to put an R on your buoys. So let's get that done. Alright everyone, now you don't have to get really fancy on making your R's if you don't want to. But they got to be at least large enough for FWC to see. And I figured, what the heck. I'm going to buy these 4-inch stencils. Then I'm just going to go ahead and kind of just, yeah, color it in a little bit here. I know, real professional, right? I'll obviously go back over it and fill it in a lot better than what I'm doing right now. And you guys can just go ahead and write the letter R on it as well, if you want to do that. I don't want to steer you wrong, but here in Florida, the letters on it, like the R on it, has to be, I believe, 2 to 4 inches anyways. So the people can see it. I'm only doing one side. That's all I'm doing. You know. Don't have to do 2 sides of the buoy. Just one. All right, there you have it. Nice R. I'll go ahead and get it done on the other one. All right, everybody. So we're done with the buoys. Both have the R's on there. Now the traps are complete. The only thing that I might add is I might put some weights inside of them outside of the weighted line. That's the only thing that I might do. And the weights will kind of run down the column here. Maybe some piping, PVC piping with sand, and cap it off. And I'll do it on all 4 corners of the traps. Guys have said sometimes the traps with just the weighted line for the buoy, you know, what have you, is not enough to keep these traps down. So I might think about that. I might do that next. No separate video on that. There's no need for that. But yeah, about 8 pipes, maybe filled with sand, just PVC pipes, and then cap them off. But those are the traps. Well, guys, I hope you have found this video informative. If you have, please give a thumb up, like the video, share the video, save the video to the videos that you like the most. Go back. It's you know, it's more like a vlog of, you know, how to do. But you know, this is only one way. Like I said, everything here I've explained today, I want it done with my traps. has to be done in the state of Florida. You gotta mark the buoys with the R's. I painted them up because I want people to see them. You know, the harness is something I went through because I think it's going to be heavy duty and it's going to be really good for helping me pull up the traps instead of just going on the corner of a trap or something. And the leaded line, obviously deeper water. I think that's going to be really good for me. Yeah, so just those weights. That might be the only thing that I do is add the weights to the corners. Otherwise the traps are done. It's really just tie the knots on the rope for the buoys and put the bait in, put them in the water. They're done. So like I said, if you liked it, give it a thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, as I care about all my subscribers. And I'll see all of you on the next adventure. Take care.